Welcome back, Minties, to Near Mint Condition, a channel where you could be part of a positive, honest community and lay claim to some comic book knowledge. I'm your host, the Astonishing Melanie, and today I'm doing an overview of the trade paperback Transformers Volume 1, Robots in Disguise by Daniel Warren Johnson. This book is non-stop action, so stay tuned. I started reading single issues of comics this year, and this was one of the first titles I picked up. Multiple times I said to my husband and daughter that they wouldn't believe what happened in the most recent issue. In fact, if you were looking for a place to jump into Transformer comics, this is a great starting point. I'm a casual fan myself. I recognize names and I know lore and such, but I don't know every character, and I found this to be easy and exciting to follow. This book is 144 pages, retails for $16.99. It's rated T for teen and collects issues 1 through 6, written and drawn by Daniel Warren Johnson, colors by Mike Spicer, and letters by Roose Wooten. Mike Spicer has done the colors for DWJ, I'll say Daniel Warren Johnson's initials for short, on Murdered Falcon and Extremity as well. I've loved their teamwork. Finally, it's part of the Energon universe that Image Comics is producing. You can see that logo right there. It's a shared universe between Transformers and G.I. Joe and includes Void Rivals, Duke, and Cobra Commander. I would love for you all to experience the surprises as well, so I will cover the events in issue 1 and give a spoiler-free summary of the direction of the story. Johnson is a fan who grew up watching Transformers, so you can rest assured that this has a lot of heart, a lot of fun, and a lot of violence in it. He put things in there that he, and perhaps you as well, thought as a kid while watching the cartoon, why don't they just do blank? Fill in with your idea of why don't they just do this to fight? DWJ gives this a timeless feel. It could be set in the 80s because there are no cell phones, but it could be present day. The time period doesn't add to the story, so it's fine. Even the picture the VFW posts could be the interior you would see 40 years ago or today. Sparky's son Spike is concerned about how much his father is drinking as he tries to handle the death of Spike's brother. Spike goes off with his friend Carly to look at the full moon, and we get a glimpse of one of DWJ's passions. Carly has airbrushed the van and given it a heavy metal aesthetic. After an earthquake hits, the two fall into the Ark, the ship that the Transformers crash-landed on Earth. He mentioned that he initially drew the ship with only 4 rockets, but Hasbro said it's got to have 5. And if you bend the page back, you can see the 5th one in the corner here. How did I know this bit of info? It's because I watched his commentary director commentary videos on his channel that he has on issues 1 through 3, where he breaks down like every panel. It's really interesting. I'll leave a link in the description. Back to the story. Unfortunately, the first Transformer that Jetfire resurrects with the use of Teletran 1 is Starscream, who immediately shoots the unconscious Bumblebee in the head. And many people were upset about this. I never had that much of an opinion on Bumblebee, so I was fine. Like DWJ said, there are so many other characters to work with in the story. Starscream, however, is my favorite character, and he still holds on to that title in this book. Optimus is a close second because look at this. He performs a clothesline and a German suplex on Starscream. And it won't be the last time you see wrestling moves performed by Cybertronians. That's another passion of the author. So that was a lot of fun. And I'm not even a wrestling fan, but I was like, okay, that's really cool. After Spike sees how Optimus mourns the death of his comrade Bumblebee, he decides to help him fight Soundwave by pushing the gun towards the Autobot leader. Teletran is rebuilding and reviving randomly, which means that, unfortunately, the Autobots are outnumbered. Ratchet loads up bodies in a trailer, and Optimus hauls them out, crying, "Transform and roll out." Jetfire recovers and flies after Starscream, attempting to stop him. He's mortally wounded in the process, so we get a heartfelt scene when he dies. One of the reasons I love Daniel Warren Johnson is that he writes fun and unique violent stories that are deep and sincere as well. I felt for Jetfire when he said that he wasted centuries trying to help Cybertron. He failed and dies without hope. It's a tearjerker. Soundwave is shown to have death as well. He cares that Ravage is injured and holds him in his arms. You know who doesn't care about anyone? Starscream. Man, I love his lines. He is the only one who could go find another source of energy, and he complains while doing it like he's a little kid. Go by yourself, they say. Do all the work, they say. Well, I'm tired too. I'm wounded too. And here I am having to do this all by myself. Another line I like is him shouting at Soundwave, "What's your malfunction?" And I also love this line that shows how evil he is. You fools are weaker than us in every way. You don't deserve to function. And speaking of Starscream being evil, the issue ends with him squishing Carly's dad. Like, oh my gosh. So, they are these huge robots. Why wouldn't they just squish people? He says, so fragile, so squishy. And the sound effect says squish in blood. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Speaking of sound effects, they do play a big role in this book with it, like right here in this panel, the sound effect practically taking up like a third of it. Okay, maybe not a third, a fourth, a fifth? What fraction would you say that is? We've got pow right here. And I like the word that he chose for the clothesline, the boom. We've got the irregular boom here, but katong, not katonk, katong. I love that sound. I suppose that choice of wording for two metal robots hitting each other. We have literal sound effect words such as grapple and chomp. I like how that looks more cartoony, the grapple. This looks 80s, katok, choom. Should I perform every single sound effect? Tong. But, of course, the one important sound effect right here is spelled out. I like the paneling choices. I love the art. The colors being so bright. I like this panel a lot. I love how awkward he is. Like, he's getting up like he's not full strength and he's in pain that he has to shoot Teletran 1. And it's really cool. It's a unique stance for him that it seems so awkward and that he's off balance. And I like how you have to turn it sideways so you can see the full effect of him with his trailer. So I won't show spoilers, but just to let you know, the series continues with Carly and Spike joining in the fight. Sparky, Spike's dad, is involved as well. It's basically them trying to figure out, both sides, how to get Energon, how to revive their fallen comrades in order to fight each other. However, like I said, practically every issue, something happens, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was so cool. So I definitely want you to experience those badass moments for yourself. But just one more, let's see, comment about the fighting. When I was watching the director's commentary by Daniel Warren Johnson, he was talking about how it's difficult to make metallic, sharp-angled, non-fleshy organisms fight each other and to be in angles that a human being would be if they were to fight. Does that make sense? And I think he did a terrific job. Also, I just love his art style with the bold outlines and the sketchiness and the flecks of black spread about. The covers to the issues are not included in this collection, so it's one continuous story reading experience, which that's just not my personal preference. I just know this is where the first issue ended, and I don't want to turn the page because that's a spoiler. But I love the covers so much, and just in general, I like knowing what I'm reading. Like, oh, this is the end of the first issue. Like, it would just bugs me in the back of my head, but that's my personal opinion. I totally see how people would like it as one big continuous reading experience, not interrupted by like a cover. In the back, we see the other titles that are included in the Energon universe: Void Rivals, Duke, and Cobra Commander. And like I said, if you're a fan of Transformers and you want more violence in it, and you also would appreciate some heartfelt moments, I'd say this is the book for you. DWJ mentioned in, I believe in the commentaries, or rather I read his Deadpool one-shot story in the Black, Red, and Blood, what is that called? Well, you know what I'm talking about. Anywho, about like his, Black, White, and Blood. His father not letting him, read violence in comics and such, and now he's making up for it in spades, apparently. If you're interested in purchasing this book, please check out our sponsors. If you're in Europe and you're interested in buying these books, definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, Emails answer within 24 hours, waltzcomicshop.com, and you can use the code nearmintcondition at checkout and get free shipping for all EU countries with your first order over 40 euros. That's Waltz Comic Shop, your reliable source for omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. Ding!
CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more.
And there's an overview of Transformers Robots in Disguise Volume 1. Let us know in the comments below if you plan on picking this up, if you've read it before. Who's your favorite Transformer? Thank you so much for watching, guys, and a special shout out to our patrons. Thank you so much. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do these videos. And as always, stay minty!